Well, hey everyone, welcome. I'm sitting here with Lexy Thompson. She is the National Channel Manager for Replicant. Very cool company with some amazing technology. Your demo is scary cool. I love it. You're in the natural language space and leveraging natural language processing for contact center automation. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so with the natural language component, it's really important that although you're introducing automation into the contact center space, that the conversation is natural and conversational as possible.
Yeah.
So that is something that hasn't been done well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, most people, it's painful to talk to the machines that
That's
are out
right.
there. It's slow, you're waiting. Even a 3-second pause in between, when we're talking isn't very conversational.
Sure.
And a lot of the systems out there, we're so trained as humans to say things like yes, no, and when it doesn't understand you, you get frustrated and then you start yelling at it because if you talk louder, right, like it's gonna make a difference.
Right.
And so we wanted to build something so that customers could talk to it just like we're having a conversation now.
Yep.
I can tell it things like, hey, I lost my credit card, so I need to update that. Also, I need to reschedule my appointment because I'm gonna be out of town. If you tried to do that with most systems today, they would be like, I'm sorry, what? Can you just repeat until you just said. So we use things like natural language processing, AI, ML, all of it to create this much better conversation.
Right.
And we're really focused on the dialogue. I think that's incredibly important because if you have linguists and conversational experts creating the dialogue behind the machine, rather than, I love my engineers, but some engineers you don't want in front of customers, right? They're not very conversational. So if you have people who actually understand the way that humans speak, creating the conversations, it's all around creates a better component.
The result of this is amazing because it is a very natural conversation. You don't hide the fact that this is a machine. In fact, you call it a thinking machine.
Yeah, you don't want to. People get really frustrated if you lie to them. So if you're lying to them up front, we don't like to do that. So that's why we announce it as a thinking machine.
Yes, of course, that makes a lot of sense. But the accuracy around it and the ability to not just route me to the right place, but solve my problem, right? Resolve my issue so that I can hang up satisfied and go on with my day. Right. That's a huge advantage, and you guys are accomplishing that in big ways. When you look at automation done right versus automation done wrong, we've all experienced that, right? Where someone has deployed automation and the result of it was I just left more frustrated than when I came in.
Correct.
Your technology and what you've designed was purpose built to solve for that. Am I right?
It was, exactly. So purpose built to work on customer service calls, and that's so important. If you try to take a generalized technology where you're like, oh, well, I don't care what the person says, or you're building it off of things that aren't specific for that company, then if a customer calls in, and even if you're having a little bit trouble, the machine's having a little bit trouble understanding them, it might think, well, you said X, Y, and Z, and you're like, that's not even relevant to what this customer does, right? Like, for example, we have a customer who, if you tried to take general models that are out there, it might think that a person's calling in and they're asking about bracelets, but really we know that this customer is calling in asking about braces because of the way that we've designed it specific for that customer, right? So if you can take in and you can focus on the intent rather than just the key word.
Interesting, sure.
That's why we have that, 90+%, typically 96% plus inference accuracy with our customers.
Yeah, I love that. Inference accuracy. That's important. The impact of not solving this problem is costing you a lot of money.
A lot of money in a lot of cases.
And frustrating customers along the way, which is a lose-lose situation.
It is, because us as humans, we're really impatient these days. We've got more impatient. The pandemic has made it so much worse. We want things right away, right? And not only that, but we as people don't have brand loyalty anymore. Brand loyalty used to be a really big thing, but the majority of people don't have that. So if they have a bad customer experience, even one interaction, I'm gone.
They're gone, and they're going to talk to other people about the bad experience.
100%, exactly. So I think companies really need to focus on that.
Talk about the examples, and maybe you have a customer that that where you've proven this out? What that it's a really aggressive ROI? Tell me about that.
Sure. Well, we have quite a few different customers. One customer, they did an independent review after being with us for a while, and I think it's about 12 million in 3 years that they're going to save.
Wow.
You know, they were doing BPOs and all kinds of things. Another customer, we're actually resolving 90% of the calls, and 20% the cost of their BPO.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive.
So it is really much an ROI thing, right? But our customers are also gaining so much more value. They're using our advanced analytics that we give to make real-time business improvements to their business. I'll give you one more example. So we had a customer who we answer the phone for them. So we can sit behind an IVR in front of it. In this case, we're in front of it. And after a couple weeks of being on the phone, we were able to show them that 7% of the calls going into their contact center were HR-related questions. Problem is that those agents cannot answer those questions. So it's just a waste of 7% of your calls that you're paying these agents to answer, and they can't. So by being able to detect that intent up front, we're actually successfully routing those calls to the correct skill-based group, and those 7% of calls are never reaching the contact center. That's a big savings for them.
Absolutely, no question. Great examples, guys, there you go. That's Replicant. Learn about these. Look at their demo. If you haven't seen the Replicant demo, or many of them, they're amazing. They're super compelling. It's remarkable what you can do with a thinking machine. We're huge fans of Replicant. You need to be too.